Hi everyone, it's Amry and I hope you're having a great day. Today I get to rep all of our new merch. We got hats and shirts. If you are on our live, you got to see all our different designs. But after our family members got first pick, we actually ran out of shirts, so I had to place another order. And I'd like to be able to give those away to some of our loyal supporters, so stay tuned in the future because we'll be doing some giveaways where you can win some of our merch. And then something really exciting that we're happy to share is hopefully by the end of the month or within a month, we're going to have our merch shop up and running so you guys can go purchase all the goods you want for yourself. Now for today's video, I want to do something a little bit different. It's not going to be a lot of the basic training you see out there, but I think that it's equally important, and to me, I would consider this training with your horse. Now, when you were younger, or if you're a beginner to horses, I'm sure you've heard not to stick your fingers in a horse's mouth, which is true, but today I'm going to be doing the opposite. I'm sticking my fingers in my horse's mouth and showing you the benefits this can have. So I've got Bones tied up. We're going to use her as a demonstrative horse today and show you the tips and tricks of what I like to do in and around my horse's mouth. We stepped outside the filming booth, the horse trailer, and I've got my mic on just because it's a little windy out here. We might have to move away from the camera, but here is Bones. And if you guys remember when we did the worming day, we wormed all our horses. I'll link that video up here. But Bones was one of the hardest horses to worm. She just doesn't really like people touching her mouth and stuff. So reason number one for me why you want your horse good with you messing with their mouth is to be wormed. But let me set the camera up, show you some other things, and tell you my other reasons why I think it's good to be able to stick your fingers in your horse's mouth. Before we get started, I do want to point out that what I'm doing might not be something for everyone. And just make sure that you have the confidence that when you stick your finger in their mouth, you can be aware of what's going on, or take it slow and practice slow, because these horses do have very, very strong tongues and cheekbones, and if they want to kind of suck their tongue up, it's very easy for our fingers to get sucked up with it. So I have some safety precautions, and I just want you guys to know that you need to take your own safety precautions and don't go too far where you don't feel comfortable anymore. One of the major reasons, I already said it, you want your horse to be good working around their mouth is for worming. And that can include any other type of paste medications you need to put in their mouth. You want to be able to do that and not fight them or have them spit it out or not even be able to do it or use twitch or drugs, things like that. If you just take the time to work on this stuff, it makes that a lot easier. The second reason, which could be the first because it's majorly important, is putting the bit in their mouth. Most of us ride with a bit in our horse's mouths, and if they are not accepting the bit, a lot of people just kind of shove it up in there. It's not a fun experience. It's just so much easier when your horse is good at it. And then another really good reason, for me at least, is say they need their teeth done or they crack a tooth or something emergency happens in their mouth, and you need to have a vet or a specialist look at it. It's so much easier to get that done, and it takes a lot of pressure off the situation if they're already good around their mouths and they're kind of willing to cooperate in those emergency situations. Alright, so we've talked about the real reasons, everyday reasons why you need to work with their mouths and all that stuff. But I'm going to give you a reason why I find it very beneficial, and I know that other people do too. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, but horses, just like people, can hold a lot of stress in their face. I know people you clench your jaws and you can get really sore right here or just tight. And I really do believe that horses are the same way. And Bones is a perfect example of that because she's a horse that just kind of gets tight in the face, and you can almost see her just gritting her teeth and holding all this pressure in her neck where it ties in the jawline. And so, people, when we get tight, will kind of, open up, move around, or even massage our jawlines, things like that. But for horses, if you think about it, they don't usually just go move their mouth open, do stretches, things like that for no reason. So this is a way for us to help them do that. And I just imagine all this stress that they're holding right here. And there is a lot of stress. Their tongue is tied in right back here, so it all comes into their throat latch area and stuff. So there can just be like a lot of stress right here. And Bones is a horse specifically where I've seen her kind of chomping or gritting when she feels nervous, or maybe she's just a horse that carries some more tension there. If you guys remember our massage day with Titan with Kathy, I'll link that video up here if you missed it, but she talked about their TMJ, and that would be the temporal mandibular joint. So it's the joint that ties in, and this is all kind of like resting together. They just got so much going on here. So if we can kind of help them loosen it up, to me at least, I don't know if there's any scientific information, and maybe if anyone knows about it, let me know, or I could look that up. But I just feel like it releases stress in your horse too. So, you know, you can have the benefits of them needing to know it for training and then taking some stress out. So let me show you what I've been working on to get her a little bit more relaxed. And I honestly do this kind of stuff every single time before I ride her because I think it helps her so much. Okay, I want to turn the camera around so I can give you guys a better view, more up close. But I did this a lot, just kind of like taking my hands down and just rubbing her right here. Like some horses don't even like that. And just remember, just rub, and then as soon as she kind of is good about it, then I take the pressure away. Horses learn from the release of pressure, so if I'm putting pressure on a place somewhere, don't reward until she's calmed down, then release the pressure, and then she'll know that was the right answer. So I kind of just keep practicing this. And like right now, if she wants to keep lowering her head, I totally love that. That's a sign of her being relaxed, so I'm totally good with that. And then I'll just kind of practice too, where I like stick my fingers kind of in, like get her good with all that kind of stuff, because to them it probably just feels like someone's tickling them, or it feels a little funny. Now when it comes to me actually sticking my fingers in their mouth, I use a few different methods. And these methods are to get the job done, but to keep your fingers safe. Because I'll say it again, I said it earlier, but be very careful because they are very strong. And if they want to chomp your finger off, they can. So be smart about it. The first technique I use is I'll come down here and I'll use my thumb. And if I need to like hold on to the halter up here to kind of keep her from moving away, I'll do that. And I'm just like barely sticking my thumb in there. And I love when they are doing this. We want them to just kind of work that tongue and just work that TMJ. We'll see the TMJ move. You can see it right there moving. And this is really good. This means that she's just kind of adjusting and letting some pressure out. And I'm getting to practice the skills of worming her or putting the bit in her mouth or letting the vet check her teeth. So I release there. See how low her head is? I'm like squatted down right now. I love that. She's so relaxed. I love it if they'll keep licking afterwards like this. I'm not going to let her eat or anything, but if she just kind of wants to relax and see her eyes, like how soft they're getting, this just kind of tells me that she's relaxed right now, but I also think it's from doing this stuff, it makes her relaxed. As we do more, I'll stick my finger in and then I'm going to hold my thumb on the roof of her mouth, and I'm pushing up on the roof and I am holding my thumb steady because I do not want her to suck it back in on accident. I don't think she's going to bite me on purpose, but I'm just kind of letting her play around, get used to the feeling. And now if she was moving around a lot more, just keep your finger in there until she holds still and then take it out. So I feel like right now she's doing really good. I'm going to take it out. And then I just kind of let her lick her lips. And I love that. See how she's kind of, even after I take it out, she wants to kind of like adjust her mouth. And she just gets really relaxed from this. Now this is something I practice on both sides. So for this side, I'll use my other hand. If I need to kind of hold the halter with my middle finger or like pointer finger or something, I'll do that. I'll just kind of stick my thumb in there and push it to the roof of her mouth and hold it. I do not want her tongue to suck me back in there. And I'm just kind of following her. She's moving away from me. And when she kind of sits still, I'll go ahead and release that pressure. We're getting a lot of action right now. That's okay. Okay, right There, she's kind of relaxed. I liked that. Good job. So she kind of continues to lick the lips and stuff. Now, Bones was not like this at all the very first time I did it. When I first went to go stick my finger in her mouth, she ran backwards, and I just tried my best to stay with her. If she lost me, I ran back into position, I put my finger back in there, and I just tried to stay with her the best I could. She eventually slowed down, and then as soon as she stopped, I took my finger out and released that. Just start in baby steps. She's doing really good now because I've been doing this every single day I ride her because I think it helps her so much. But if you have to start slow and you can only leave your finger in there for half a second or a full second and then they stand still, release that pressure and they'll start to learn. And then just like Bones, they'll actually start to enjoy it. The other technique I will use, and this one, do not use if you don't feel comfortable because to me it can be a little more dangerous, but I'm going to use my pointer finger and I'll just kind of go in there and at first I'll kind of like put my finger up her cheek. You gotta be careful because you will run into her teeth soon. I just kind of like this one because this would be as if I was worming her. I just want her to feel good about all this stuff. So then I'll kind of reward that. Then I'll go back and stick my finger here. And I'll just hold it straight across. And I'm holding my finger as tight as I can, straight across, right over her tongue. Just letting her play with it. And to me, this is helping work on putting the bit in her mouth because she has to open her mouth and kind of feel something on her tongue. And it's helping her release all this built stress and pressure in there. And I'll kind of hold the halter with my other fingers if I need to hold her still. And then I'll kind of take my finger out. Good girl. So we'll do this one on the other side too. I'll just kind of get my finger in here, and at first I just kind of like fish hook her a little bit, and this is a good intro, but be careful because like I said, they're really strong. They could suck your finger up there if they wanted to. Kind of release that. Good girl. And like right now, she has her head so low. She's just very relaxed. I promise she's not drugged. This is how, I really do believe that this is what this does to them. So now I'll go ahead, stick my finger in again. I'm just going to hold it straight across. Kind of let her play with it. She kind of took it out and I was not paying attention, but I just go stick it right back in. She kind of moves around a little bit more on this side. That's okay. So as soon as she stands still, or just, I guess, like holds her head still, she just really wants to wrap it around her now. So like right, I'll try to kind of pull her towards me a little bit again. Just put my finger back in. Okay, right there, I like that. She was kind of like adjusting some things. Good girl. You can see she just like really low-headed and relaxed right now. Alright, that's it. That's all I do. I spend maybe 2 to 5 minutes, longer if you need to, but I just work on this stuff, and this is something I do with Bones every time before I ride her because I think it helps her so much. Every horse doesn't need it every day, but even if your horse is good at something like this, it's kind of fun to practice with and test them. And then, I don't know, I'm going to have to do some more scientific research about the why, but to me, I just feel like it helps like relieve this pressure right here in their jaw. I'm going to show you on her like back here, or this TMJ, it just kind of relieves pressure. I've learned these drills and kind of changed them to be my own, but some equine massage people have showed me what they do, and some vets have showed me a little bit too, so I've kind of turned it into my own theory, if you want to call it that. I really do think it helps. Try it on your horse and let me know how they respond. Not every horse is going to be so good. I've practiced with Bones quite a bit, so just stick with it. Just release when they're doing the right thing and start small. Take baby steps. Just do a second or two at a time until you can build up and do more. And if you just got to stick your finger in just a little bit, do that. But just remember to be safe and take it slow. I hope you enjoyed this short little training tip. This is just the real life, honest stuff of what I do. And to me, it makes a difference. You guys try it out. Let me know if it makes a difference on your horses. But I enjoy this stuff because not only does it make them better to bits, wormers, medicine, vets, all sorts of things like that, but I just think it makes them happier and more relaxed. And if there's anything I can do for my horse to make them feel a little bit better, I'm going to do that. Now, when I first did a lot of this with Bones, she really wanted to move backwards and move away from me, which is normal. Just stay with them. Do your best to keep your finger in their mouth safely, but don't try to release that pressure until they're doing the right thing, because horses learn the snap second after you release pressure. So that's very important. Now, another thing that I found with the horses I do this with, sometimes you get horses that don't want to. You'll stick your finger in their mouth and they don't want to open it at all. They're just lockjaw, clamped down, not going to move it. So what I do in that case, I'll just try to move my fingers in different directions while being careful and just trying to keep my fingers tight, not loose, because I don't want them to suck it up and bite me on accident. But I'll just kind of move it around because you want them to be doing the motion, if that kind of makes sense, but doing something, licking and moving around, because that's where that tension can kind of work its way out and they can move this TMJ around and just move some of the pressure around so that it can eventually be released. So you don't want them to just sit there and do nothing, but you also don't want them to run away. What I did with Bones today and how she responded, to me, that was perfect. I think that was a great little lesson, and I'd feel very happy about moving on from today. I think she's got it nailed down very well. I didn't always used to do this, but I'm starting to practice it a lot with the babies as well, because I just think the sooner you can teach them this kind of stuff, the better. Like Bones, I didn't teach her this until recently, and now she's good, but we could have saved us a lot of troubles in the past, maybe if I'd worked on this stuff sooner. So this is something I'm going to be working on Rooster with too in the future, and all the other babies. It just makes them easier to be around, and I think it does help take some of that stress out of them. If you enjoyed this tip today, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to stay up to date and follow along with all of our adventures and training tips, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We are so happy that so many of you already love coming along our adventures, and we can't wait to show you our next one. We'll catch you next time.
Later that same day, I was working Elsa in the round pen, and I've never done this with her, so I decided to try it and record it to show you guys what it might look like on a different horse for the first time. So I'm basically just going through all my steps. Someone else might have done this with her, but I haven't. So I will reward her when she does something good, but then I also make sure not to release the pressure until she does relax some. I'm just going to let you guys watch this. I might speed up some parts because Elsa did really well overall and didn't give me much to show. But I hope this helps, and I'll keep recording every time I do a new horse, because sometimes they're not always so easy, but I'll show you what to do in one of those situations.